Hey, it's David Raffoff here, and today I'm going to be talking about how to get started with coding from knowing absolutely nothing about it. And this is a recommendation more about how to approach learning it. So, there's one of the tricks with learning to program is that there's just a lot of things you could be learning, and you kind of want to really isolate it down to just like one thing at a time as much as you can. So, one thing that I recommend doing is just finding an easy place to start writing some basic code. Um, and you may be in terms of like learning materials that you're referencing, like you might be reading books, you might be watching videos online, and I'd really highly encourage you to take all the code that you're seeing and actually type it out and run it and see whether it runs or not, because that's really the way. That's like the best way to learn. Basically, you could read, 4 or 5 programming books, and if you're not writing the code, you'll be learning some things, but you're going to be missing out on a lot. So really the best thing you can be doing is just kind of writing code right out of the gate. You may have an idea about which language you're interested in learning. So, if you're doing web development stuff, maybe that's going to be JavaScript or Ruby. If you're doing game stuff, maybe it's C or C Sharp, Android development, Java. But it kind of, for learning the fundamentals, it kind of doesn't matter. Like it's the basics are going to be the basics in really any language. But if you do know what you're interested in, it doesn't hurt to start with the language that you think you're going to be using or likely going to be using. But one thing I wanted to suggest was, as you're learning that, you could be accidentally forcing yourself to learn a bunch of different things at the same time. So in order to run a program, you're going to need a place to write code. So you're going to need some kind of editor. You're going to need a way to run that code. So you're going to need a language installed somewhere that you can actually either run or compile against or whatever. And then you may need a way to see that output. You may have to run like a server. Like there's just a bunch of parts. And you want to my suggestion would just be just focus on the part where you're writing code and running it. And one great resource for that, there's different resources for this, but this is one of the better ones at the moment that I know of, and I've used before for some specific scenarios. There's a site here called Replit, and basically you can come in here and you can choose whatever language it is that you're interested in, and it's pretty cool. They have like a really nice list or a really nice selection of languages. Like here you've got Python, Ruby, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, JavaScript together, C Sharp. They got Scheme in here. That's pretty interesting. Java, like React. So basically anything for the most part that you're interested in, they're going to have it here. It's actually pretty cool how much stuff they have. So just because it's easy to read, I'm going to grab Ruby here, just to kind of show you how this works. So here we go. I've got Ruby, and you can see the layout here has changed a little bit, and what we're looking at is on the left over here is a list of files, which you can basically ignore for now. They just give you a default file you can start with here, which is main.rb or main.ruby. And then on the far right here is the actual language, or so here you can see we've got basically output for we're running Ruby 2.5, and I think we could type something in here if we wanted to. I think this is interactive. Yeah. So, but the cool thing is you could just in your Ruby file here, you could just start writing some code. And so I've got just 3 plus 3, and if we run that, we're going to see 6 is output over here on the right. If I wanted to just do something with the variable, we could go ahead and do that. I could say a equals 5, and then the last thing I have in here is a, it's going to output that. So 5. And then, if we wanted to do something a little more complicated, we could just paste in some code. So this is just creating a class called mything, and when it's created, it's going to print out ASDF. And then down here, I'm actually using that code. So I'm saying, give me a thing, or give me a my thing, and save it here in thing. And if I run that, you're gonna see over here that it's printing out that ASDF, and then this is just saying it's giving me back an object called giving me a my thing object back. Doesn't really matter. Not too concerned about what exactly this code's doing. My main point is just pick something. You want to pick something like one small part of the problem you're trying to tackle at a time. And I think this is probably the best suggestion I can think of for if you're learning to code from absolute zero. If you've got a book or videos, just start typing it in here as you're going through it. It's really easy to do, and the more you do that, the more you're going to build up that muscle, and the more you're going to feel comfortable in that language that you're working with. And if you're not sure what language you want to use too, one thing that's cool about this tool is you could try writing basics in 2 or 3 different languages or whatever, and just kind of get a feel for the differences between them. But yeah, if that's my advice on where to get started. I'm going to be doing a whole series of videos about how to get started from knowing nothing and working your way towards a job in software development or programming, and kind of the different things you'll need to learn along the way, and then things you could be doing at the same time to really increase your your odds of success. So anyway, if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, please click the subscribe button down below to be notified about new videos. Also, if you're interested in helping out the channel, I have links in the description to my Patreon page, as well as Amazon links to all the gear that I use to make these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.